Now the first thing that we're going to do is the thing that you probably fear most, which is putting in a blind zip. Right sides together, and I basically want you to line everything up and press back that seam allowance just so we've got a line as a guide to where we're going to put our zip on. So give it a good old press so you get a definite line going down the back, which is the seam allowance for your zip. So it should look something like this. And then you get your zip, and now what you need to do is you basically need to press open, so you've got to roll around the zip. So if you can see that, so you get an iron and you press that back, so it just helps you get closer to the edge of the zip so it looks more like a blind zip. We get our blind zip, and then on the back side of it, on the wrong side of it, we sort of roll it back and really press back those edges so we can get as close as possible to the teeth when we sew. Now, to sew a blind zip, you need one of these blind zip feet, and on my machine, to release it, I just lift up the lever, this drops down, and then I put my blind zip foot in position like that. You also need to pass the thread through the little hole on the foot so all the threads are underneath. As you sew, you should find that you are just in the safest part, but close enough to those teeth. So look how easy that is. So you just keep going all the way down as far as you can on your zip. And then just stop where it's safe. So it ends up being something like that. So for that one I used the blind zip foot, but now I want to use just a regular zip foot. So once again, my starting position for doing the other side, so look, that's the one that we've just done. So my starting position for doing the other side is having the zip the right way round, my fabric's the right way round, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip everything over, because the way that I sew on the zip is with right sides together like that, lining up the zip teeth with my pressed edge and lining it up with the top of the dress. Right, I hope you can see this. So everything right sides together, off we go. I'm going forwards and back at the beginning, and now I'm just using a regular sewing zip and going as close as I can to those teeth. Now you'll find you have to sort of keep going from side to side depending upon which part of the zip that you wanted to get close to. Now what I'm doing is I'm closing, that's the zip, I'm closing the seam, I'm keeping everything aligned, I'm making sure that the zip is out of the way. I'm going to stitch down that pressed seam allowance seam that we made. Go backwards, forwards, and stitch down that seam that we pressed before, and I'm going to keep going. So then you should end up with something like that.